Have you ever felt an inner emptiness, even after searching so much? Millions live surrounded by information, but trapped within their own minds, where true suffering is born, in the silence between thoughts. I'm Noah Smith, and on this channel, we go beyond the surface to explore inner transformation. If you want to free your mind from invisible chains, this video is for you. Today, I will reveal the 14 lessons of Shaolin Master Shi Heng Yi, maps for those who wish to awaken a life free from fear and illusions. If this topic touches you, subscribe, turn on notifications, share, and leave your comment. Together, we will build a strong and conscious community. Now, take a deep breath. Open your mind. The journey begins here. Self-awareness, the seed of freedom. Most people live unaware of the internal theater that directs their choices. Thoughts arise like invisible winds, shaping emotions, decisions, and ultimately destiny itself. Shi Heng Yi teaches that the first prison is not external circumstances but internal unconsciousness. Without realizing it, we become captives of our own mental automatisms. Self-awareness is the first cut of the sword that breaks this prison. When you observe your thoughts without judgment, you begin to see clearly what was once hidden. Old fears, silent guilt, and inherited beliefs emerge like shadows exposed to the light. It is uncomfortable at first, but absolutely necessary for those seeking true freedom. This light of observation requires no physical effort, but constant inner vigilance. Shi Heng Yi reminds us that only when we honestly see the roots of what we think and feel can we consciously choose what to nurture and what to let die within us. And so, the first link in the chain breaks, preparing the ground for the next challenge that few dare to face. Total responsibility. The power is within you. After the first glimpse of self-awareness, one of the most challenging lessons arises: total responsibility. Shi Heng Yi teaches that as long as we look for someone to blame outside ourselves, the past, others, circumstances, we remain imprisoned. The mind loves to outsource responsibility because it temporarily eases the weight of internal pain. But true freedom begins when we take full ownership of everything we feel, think, and experience as the fruits of seeds we consciously or unconsciously planted in our own mental garden. This responsibility is not guilt, it is power. It is recognizing that even in the worst events, there is always something within us that can be transformed. This is where many give up, for assuming one's role in pain requires courage. But Shi Heng Yi reminds us that until we do this, we hand over our power to chance. By taking the reins internally, we become co-creators of reality, and from this new position, we are ready to face the next lesson, one that invites us to an even deeper mastery of ourselves. The mind is a tool, not a master. The mind is an extraordinary tool. It plans, calculates, organizes, and anticipates. But the problem arises when we forget that it must serve, not rule. Shi Heng Yi warns us, when the mind becomes the master, it creates illusory realities, feeds fears, and keeps the soul captive to automatic narratives. Many live immersed in an incessant mental dialogue, as if they were their own inner voices. But you are not your mind. You are the one who observes it. The mind should be used as a sharp instrument, placed in service of higher consciousness, not the other way around. When the mind governs, we become slaves to insatiable desires and endless worries. Learning to put the mind in its proper place is a daily act of discipline. It's not about silencing thoughts, but about not identifying with them. Shi Heng Yi teaches that by doing this, we open space for something more subtle and profound to emerge. True intuitive wisdom. And with it, we prepare to face the next lesson, where internal control becomes even more essential. The bridge between intention and achievement. Wanting change is easy. Everyone wants to transform. But between desire and realization lies an abyss that only discipline can cross. Shi Heng Yi teaches that discipline is not repression. It is structured freedom. It turns intentions into tangible reality through consistent actions. Without discipline, knowledge remains sterile. We may perfectly understand our mental patterns, but without daily practice of vigilance and correction, we will repeatedly fall into the same traps. Discipline demands consistency in small details, how we think, speak, act, and react to everyday challenges. It is precisely in the monotony of small daily efforts that true transformation occurs. Shi Heng Yi compares discipline to a drop of water that, over time, pierces the hardest stone. And when discipline settles in, it lays the foundation for the next lesson, one that forces us to let go of what binds us most: attachment. Topic 5. Detachment. Letting go to flow. Attachment is a silent trap. The mind clings to people, ideas, outcomes, and identities out of fear of losing what it believes it possesses. Shi Heng Yi teaches that detachment is not indifference, but freedom from control. It means allowing life to flow without being dragged by the anxiety of keeping everything under control. When we are attached, we live tense, trying to hold on to the uncontrollable. The future frightens us, the past imprisons us, and the present goes unnoticed. Detachment brings us into the now, where true life happens. It is here that the natural flow of existence can be perceived and followed with ease. Detaching is not losing, but making space. By letting go of control, we access a deep trust in the invisible order of life. Shi Heng Yi states that only the detached are truly strong, because they do not fear the constant movement of existence. And it is in this fluidity that we approach the next lesson, where true acceptance of the present becomes essential. Radical acceptance. Embracing the present as it is. Accepting reality without resistance is one of the deepest lessons Shi Heng Yi shares. Often, our mind rejects the present because it does not meet our expectations or desires. This internal conflict generates suffering and keeps us trapped in cycles of frustration and anxiety. Radical acceptance does not mean passivity or giving up, but recognizing the present moment in its entirety, with its pains, joys, and imperfections. When we stop fighting what is, we open space for clarity and transformation. It is in this space that true inner peace arises. This acceptance brings immense freedom because it frees us from the need to control everything. Shi Heng Yi reminds us that by embracing the present, we align with the natural flow of life and prepare the ground for the next lesson, which deals with the power of conscious intention. Conscious intention, directing inner energy. The energy of life is always in motion, but without clear intention, it disperses and loses strength. Shi Heng Yi teaches that conscious intention is the beacon that guides this energy to create a reality aligned with our true values and deepest desires. Living without intention is like sailing without a compass. We are carried by waves of chance, fleeting emotions, and inherited conditioning. When we choose to focus our mind and heart in a specific direction, we begin to shape the external world from an internal state of clarity and purpose. This practice requires discipline and self-awareness, because the mind tends to scatter easily. Shi Heng Yi reminds us that by cultivating conscious intention, we amplify our creative power and prepare for the next lesson, where cultivating patience becomes fundamental to the transformative process.